Hello guys, welcome back or welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing very well. My name is Marty and today we're back with another episode of Severance Season 2. Just so you're aware, after the episode, you'll get my review of the episode, but then I'll also have checked out the podcast episode in my own time, so you'll see my little review of it and I'll play little clips of it, just to highlight some of the making of from this specific episode. Anyway, if you want to see the full uncut reaction to this, you can do over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member as well, but I think let's dive into it. This is episode 6 of Season 2. But let's just dive back into Severance Season 2.
There was this gray hall.
Yeah, it's a dream.
Everything was like so white.
We're making progress.
His first outie time seeing Lumon.
This didn't feel human. This felt like a nightmare. I mean, why is she rattling off a bunch of facts? What are they doing to her?
All I know is she's essential.
Essential for
She
what?
didn't even recognize me.
The Gemma you know is still in there. When you get her out, it will be the two of you out here together.
Bargaining, you know what that is?
What do you mean?
Well, it's one of the stages. You think about all the things you do,
Oh, in a relationship.
all the ways you change to get that person back.
Yeah. To accommodate the way they want things to be.
Listen more. It's dumb, but you do it anyway.
It's normal.
Yeah,
You want to please them.
but for me, it might actually happen.
So are they keeping a prisoner there then?
So there's a floor beneath us.
That must be where they're keeping her.
There were directions on the back.
Yeah.
I left it there behind the poster.
Oh, wait, why?
Why didn't you just take?
Okay, I don't want to get in trouble right now.
Oh, and also taking it in the lift. I don't know if he's going to be there now. It's been so long.
I still have a hall pass, so I can go to the break room now, and then we can start after lunch.
Maybe.
Did everyone sever their balls in the elevator this morning?
Start.
What is it? It's turned into his fridge. So now his innie is getting flashes of his real life.
Mark, you okay?
Oh, Jeff Richman, you absolute legend. That is brilliant. Jeff is the editor, by the way. I've been loving the editing style of the show itself. Yeah, so is Gemma then held captive by them and not actually dead in real life?
Have a seat. I had my performance review yesterday.
How did it go?
Many valid concerns were raised, which I look forward to addressing.
I'm glad for you.
I like the little head of Keir was facing one way and he was facing the opposite
I
way.
feel I should remind you, you cannot graduate from this fellowship until I have deemed you wintertide material.
Wintertide.
This will mean using your time well, focusing on your own duties, and eradicating from your essence childish folly.
I understand, sir.
I shall be busy for the rest of the day. I trust you can steward the floor in my stead.
Of course.
You may sit at your regular desk.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Milchick.
That little underlying thanks. Oh, the acting in this show.
He threatened you. They're trying to intimidate us.
There's little micro things.
You know what will happen if we do? I'm gonna go get that map.
Ellie, we shared vessels.
Yeah. I was wondering what he was going to say.
We
Did the tango?
had sex.
Hey.
Okay. Like in a wellness session?
No, you.
Miss Casey, who was
Not- yeah.
at the retreat in your tent.
Oh no, now she's going to feel violated as well. Because it wasn't her.
Oh.
I mean, obviously, you know, I thought it was you.
Yeah. And she wanted to, but
Having those feelings since before the OTC. I had no idea. Okay.
but it's kind of against her will.
I'm sorry, Ellie. She tricked me. I mean, I wanted to. She tricked both of us.
It's not Mark's fault.
It's probably another tactic.
But it's so weird.
Something to drive a wedge between us. Like,
Ellie,
I'm gonna go for a walk.
Oh, no, not the right move for Mark.
sorry. I thought it was you.
But it wasn't me. I'm just gonna go walk around.
Oh, that's so difficult for both. Oh. My heart's aching for her because they had such a cute kind of young love between each other. Do you know what I mean? Like puppy love. You'd have crushing on someone. And then that all just kind of feels violated. What is he doing?
First date, scuba.
Thai food. Though you did take scuba lessons last year. It was in a pool. It was a little expensive.
Oh,
I've had a lot of phases. Woodworking,
wow, so my hobby's really diverse.
garage beer making.
Trying to find something I excel in, like I do down here.
I sometimes wonder if you're just not happy.
Distracting yourself from unhappiness in family and stuff.
Here, with you, I'm super happy. Want to hear about all my offspring and stare at your face?
She really likes his innie.
It was really sweet. I like this.
He's out, he's tired, I think.
I wish we could really be together all the time.
I mean, we are, aren't we?
Yeah, but not emotionally.
You and him are, but I'm not.
With innies, they're almost how people were before they, you know,
Is it okay if we try the hug again?
a younger time. Like when they first met kind of thing. I'm happy for him though. Oh, she's remembering. Oh, she's got the walk back.
Oh, hey, I was coming to find you.
Same.
Sorry, I can't even imagine what it must be like.
You thought it was me,
100%.
which means you wanted to. With me.
Yes, he did. Very much so.
Yeah.
What sucks is that she got to have that and I didn't.
Let's go do it now.
She used me to trick my friends, used my body to get close to you, that she dresses me in the morning like I'm a baby, that she controls me and this company and all of us. It's disgusting.
Understandable.
Hey, do you want me to, like, describe what happened? Like, I feel
I
like
don't
you have
think-
every right.
No, I don't want her memory.
Yeah.
I want my own.
But how are you gonna...
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Where? In the toilets? Where? How? Where? How?
How?
Exactly. How? Everything's monitored. What's the break room? Oh no, that's monitored. Took a first date walking with them. In there? No, this room is monitored as well, isn't it? Do you remember? I'm sure there was a camera.
Ta-da. A tent.
Didn't even think of that. Okay. It's just the furthest from what I thought would have happened between these two.
I'm nervous.
They make a good couple, don't get me wrong. I thought they were far from this. This must be really weird for her, really, because it's the first time. Same as when he did it.
Yes.
Yes.
That was nice. He asked permission. It's awkward watching this. It's like you don't want to see them doing this, but you do at the same time because you like the characters and want them to be together, but Gemma as well. No one's getting work done. Oh, is he thinking on his power again? You know, the whole Keir thing. Stepping up.
You must eradicate from your essence childish folly.
That's a line he said to the girl.
You must eradicate from yourself childish folly.
I thought I saw someone in the background there. Oh, and it
You
was
must abandon childish things.
also the camera.
You must grow up. You must grow up. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. Grow. Grow. Grow.
Yeah, but he's just berating himself for no reason. Filmmaking wise, I think they must have had a body double for him, and that it was that whole trickery thing through the mirror. I think the mirror's at a different angle.
Is it different with me?
You're doing it out in the open, dude.
Oh no, you're bleeding.
Oh, what? No, you are. Because of the... Is it because of the brain thing?
Did you punch him? What were you doing when the nosebleed occurred?
Talking.
Refining something.
Do you have a deviated septum?
Don't know what that is.
Would you like me to put petroleum jelly in your nostrils?
No thanks.
Any other symptoms? Auras or hallucinations?
Oh, yeah.
I think it stopped. I feel better.
I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Wait, what? What?
I was just...
Mark?
I don't know what's real. Is it...
Were you just at Lumen?
What time is it?
Yeah.
Are you at Lumen or in your basement with me?
I don't know.
Do you remember a black
I
hallway?
remember.
Oh, is she hacking in to get... What?
I remember the desk.
No, she got...
I remember.
That was another crossover memory. You'll feel gaps in time until it all comes back together.
So it was like a merge between the scene, them doing this is later in the day kind of thing, and he's remembering back to the moment we just saw. Oh, that's confusing.
Hands speed up the process.
Is that safe?
There's a slight chance of hemorrhage.
Okay, so me bleeding to death.
Not necessarily. We'll flood the chip itself through the hole in your head.
What?
That you've already
Okay.
got.
Oh,
What? Get the off me. Get it off.
is that going to...
Starving.
That's also from reintegration.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go eat.
I want to know what happened. The bit inside. But I do like the transition.
Who the hell are you?
He's joking.
It's a joke.
Imagine.
Fields is tending the ham. Help you like a cumin glaze. Yes, of course.
Very smart.
Attila,
Yes, Attila.
you just ask about the glaze.
Attila is his name.
We could feed him a pile of loose corn. What your innie ever saw in this Philistine is beyond me.
Fields, I presume. Irving.
Irving,
Is it weird that the house is almost clinical, like a laboratory?
Last time, I'm sure that felt quite invasive.
nonsense. What's mine's yours.
Oh.
And you've brought wine.
Oh, are they... What's mine's yours? Okay.
No.
It wasn't blood, it was paint.
The whole mine people are off the deep end, is my point. How did you come to be at the company? Well, as a matter of fact, I was guided to Lumen's store by Jesus. Jesus Christ? That's the one.
You should just leave it at that and wonder what the hell you meant.
No.
Yeah, what?
Been attending the Lutheran church for some years. And I should mention that I've been what you might call a scoundrel.
To put it mildly.
So one Sunday at breakfast, Fields asked me point blank, do I think I'm going to heaven?
Yes, one asks at breakfast.
I pretend to think about it. I know the answer is no.
To which I replied, what am I supposed to do up there for eternity all by myself?
Was trying to heal himself by going to Severance.
The sermon that day is about severance, which was still very new at the time.
Yeah.
And the pastor says,
He said the church's stance, innies, are complete.
Right, and that wasn't the church.
With souls that can be judged separately from their outie.
So an innie can go to heaven.
Marty Burns.
We're not zealots, I swear.
That's someone from Lumen.
Maybe a way for part of Bert to... Oh, you know.
Wow. He's looking for the exit.
No, just
Lots to take in.
hope was for Bert's innie to go to heaven.
Yes,
But then that would be...
with me.
I mean, it's his soul, I suppose. The soul of a city, but yeah. But again, like we found out, innies and outies are two completely different beings, pretty much. They're the same people, but different personalities. Different, what I think is their more youthful, more regular personality before the world changed them. Why are you at Irving's home? The paintings.
They'll basically be giving me money. Test drive only, I won't commit to anything.
Thank you.
You didn't tell me how to go. You went back to Lumen, right?
Oh,
That good?
they canceled it. I didn't see him.
And she was calling him, or to you.
Guess you got too busy.
Practically cheating on him with himself is really weird. Because they're not happy in the relationship. That person. Oh, I thought the person that just dropped that at his table was him. Is that Alec? He saw her in passing in the first episode, but he hasn't seen her since, has he? Can't remember. Oh, she's conniving.
Mark. Scout.
Like you don't know.
I thought that was you. I'm Helena Egan. I work at Lumen.
No, I know who you are.
Well, it's nice to officially meet you.
We kind of did. He almost ran you over. Sorry.
Maybe keep your eyes on the icy road. You had enough to eat?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Hope they're feeding you at work. May I?
I love, okay, I keep saying this, her acting is incredible because it's so different between the two. They're all are.
I've heard nothing but good things about your work, by the way.
Thank you. I've heard nothing at all about my work.
Severance humor. So clever.
And so easy.
Look, I'm sorry for the systemic error from the other night.
The systemic error overtime thing?
Yes. The OTC. It never should have happened, and it never will again. We take pride as a company to be better than that.
That's nice to hear. Thanks.
You came in because?
Yes, I know all about it. I'm like the head of the company, Mark.
Stop trying to wiggle yourself in there.
Dumb, sorry.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
Really?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
You're clearly not dumb.
You're the one who invented a revolutionary medical procedure.
That was not me, that was my father.
Why do I feel like she's getting feelings because of what happened?
You should meet him sometime.
Your father?
Father?
Sure, why not?
You want to take me home to Dad already?
Yeah.
It's finally time.
Okay, sure, let's do it.
He'd be the first.
He's like, I've literally just seen you again. Yeah, she likes.
Love to hear about your experiences.
Okay, yeah. About Severance?
I meant the overtime. I mean, I can't imagine how confusing that must have been. Traumatic, even. And I know you've already been through so much with losing your wife and all.
Because I was going to say, I wondered if he was going to ask about Gemma.
Hannah.
Hannah? No. Gemma.
Gemma.
Right, Gemma. Sorry.
Shows how much you know about him.
Car accident, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a shame.
How do you know?
She was so young.
Yeah. Done a research. But I think maybe she's playing the long game?
Are you all right?
I'm fine. It's just about finished here.
Okay, right.
Well, it was nice to meet you, Helena.
You too, Mark.
Were you waiting for him to kiss you? Because...
What is it?
Nothing.
Like a memory of...
Good night.
What happened. Oh, this is so good. He's like, get the hell out of there. You're breaking into his dad's chest, I think? Why? Without details of Gemma, because it said something about an accident. Oh, no, it's a thing about Bert.
We used to call each other Han. Then about 10 years ago, that became Attila.
Because, do you know history?
Yeah.
Look, Attila the Hun.
It wasn't 10 years ago, it was 20. No. Yes, because I remember having drinks with your lumon partner.
Lumon.
Didn't the first severed office open 12 years ago? Yes, it did. Maybe that's enough of that.
What? Is he something to do with Lumen?
The corner's very special.
Do you think you two ever made love at work?
Feels Jesus.
Just be pragmatic adults about this. There's a non-zero chance that the two of you had unprotected sex.
Are you done humiliating our guest?
Cards on the table. I've been talking to Pastor Gale about this. I believe that innies deserve to experience love, and I hope it was beautiful.
One, they don't know. And two, that did not happen. Just Bert? No.
Let's do it. Tonight.
Change your mind. I'm good, thanks. I don't want to see any of this. I don't know if they're gonna show it. There, yeah, they are. There. I'm gonna look away. If they put, oh no, I don't want to see that. Why do they have to show us this bit of it? I get what they're trying to do. Just show us this angle instead. But if they can reintegrate him, does that mean he can go into work as his outie?
How long will it take?
It'll be fast.
Fast? How fast?
I'm nervous.
Oh, and he's like, oh, it's that woman again. Oh, yeah, and Gemma, yeah.
Don't move. Yeah.
Who's that?
Mark?
My car's in the driveway. She knows I'm here.
Oh, is that? What's her name?
I left you like 5 messages. Are you better? I have had an idea that is a little dumber.
Okay, Devin.
Do you remember the rich lady from baby camp, the one I like kind of had a crush on?
The one with the coffee.
I'm already trying something else.
Okay, what are you trying?
Don't worry about it. Doing it myself.
You look a bit of a mess, Mark. Are you
Why are
okay?
you trying to cut me out of this?
I'm really not, Devin.
You literally are.
Okay, fine. I am. I didn't ask for your help.
You, officially.
Right.
And what is that smell?
No. Is it? Maybe it's not You okay, Mark? You know when they say you get a burning smell when you have a seizure or something?
Mark. Don't touch him. Who the f*** are you? It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Is it a seizure that they say when you get the burning? Was he foaming at the mouth?
You'll be embarrassed tomorrow. He gets fuzzy, like saying I worked at Lumen 20 years ago, which is, of course, before Severance even existed.
Yeah. So, don't think he was making that up.
Do it again sometime.
You mean Fields or you me?
Oh, what? Yeah, no, I meant with Fields.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or without, if you want.
Either way.
Good.
Okay.
It's good for them to connect. So the whole thing with Bert knowing, because I don't think that was a mistake. I think it was a purposeful, like not that he was meaning to drop it and get him into trouble or to drop any kind of hints to Irving, but I think it was just a slip out. But he actually knew someone from Lumen 20 years ago, even though Lumen only got made or created 12 years ago. Only 12 years ago. Well, they said the Severance. Does that mean that they're all talking about the Severance procedure, not the Lumen? So maybe Lumen was just around before that, before Severance was even a thing, because we got Keir Egan. Keir Egan was obviously a thing, I thought, way before 12 years before. So, because wasn't there a huge history of everything? So does he know, like, one of the founding members? And that whole thing with the priest. The priest is I think the priest isn't a real priest. The person that, said, oh, the innies and the outies, if the innie is good, then they can go to heaven. What are you talking about? They're the same person. I know two different souls, technically, because they are two different personalities of the same person. But I think that was a person from Lumen impersonating priest, vicar, a member of the church. I think it was just someone pretending to hire another person and saying, oh, if you want to, correct these issues, correct them, then send them to Lumen. Yeah, get him to enroll in Lumen and be severed. Great idea. Maybe that was a ploy to get information out of him as well because of him knowing a person from Lumen. I don't know. I'm guessing all this stuff, but it's so intriguing. He knows someone. It could be nothing. It could just be a slip of the tongue. It could just be, okay, he knew someone, or maybe it was just a random, like he could know the person that we saw from, you know, the rich couple. He could know that guy. He's something to do with Lumon, from what I know. And that's the one that Devon was talking about. But is Mark okay, though? With the foaming at the mouth and everything? Was he having a convulsion? I'm trying to remember what it is when you smell burning. I think it's when you're about to have a seizure or about to have a stroke or something. Do you remember that? And that's the only thing I can think of with the smell thing. They say you have a funny smell. It's like burning toast, that kind of thing. But I mean, he hasn't been feeling well for a while. And I thought maybe his waning health was because of being severed and not getting enough nutrients into his body and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Not being able to feel better, or he was ill on the outside, but weirdly his inner self is absolutely fine. They also slept together? Oh my God, that's a huge thing. I completely get, though, the utter pain and betrayal that Helly would have been going through because of knowing Helena, her outie self, slept with Mark. One, not just before she did, but also took her innocence, basically, did it without her knowledge, without her permission, kind of assault in some ways. Because, yes, it's herself, but she didn't get that experience. Yes, she got to fix that in the end. But again, it's not Mark's fault, though, and she's not blaming Mark. But I think she was bitter towards Mark at first and sort of not wanting to, because he was one of the perpetrators of this thing. She didn't want to have him anywhere near her at first because she had to kind of process it. Completely understandable. And that, I'm still thinking back, by the way, that whole thing, because there was a nice shot in this which related back to it as well. Milchick has been having these thoughts in his head of, you know, am I good enough? And there was the whole thing with him in the mirror, which is a genius camera move, by the way. I believe it was a fake out where person that we saw from the back was a double, and then the person in the mirror wasn't actually a mirror, that was actually just looking through, or it was a superimposed shot of Milchick in the mirror. It was very well done. I thought it was the age-old trick of replacing the mirror with just a frame, and then he's standing on the other side of this gap, if that makes sense. And that's what we're seeing through. But anyway, really well done. But that whole thing with him berating himself and saying that he needs to grow up and to grow was him almost trying to force himself to be more like Keir and to be more of what they want him to be. He doesn't need to be. He's perfect the way he is. He's absolutely fine. And he doesn't need to grow, but he needs to see what they're doing. He needs to see how awful they are using the staff there for whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, and I can't wait to hopefully find out. But the one shot in there that I thought was really cool with Milchick, and it had a bit of a Keir reference in there, was when he's in his office and he turns and faces the window, and in the background there's a tiny little Keir ornament and it's facing left towards Milchick. So it's facing one way and he's facing the other, almost mimicking the side profile, but from the other side. It was almost like a bit of a symbolism of him going against Keir, like him being different and being the opposite as a person, if that makes sense. But knowing that they want to see him in the likeness of Keir. I don't know, I could be wrong, could be looking way too much into this. But it's so interesting seeing all these little things and all the little details of their acting in their faces that you can see, and little differences between the actors' innies and outies, which I've said this over the entire show. But this one especially, I've seen a lot in, where like Helena Egan going to Mark when he's at the table, and then seeing all those little things that she would say or do, and her way of talking, her way of speaking, her speech patterns are different to Helly. I don't know how, but Helly's got this very sort of natural kind of flow to her voice, if that makes sense, whereas Helena is something different. It's not just the way she walks and talks, because she doesn't walk and talk the same. It's just different. And you can see in, say, Helena Egan's eyes that she's thinking in her head about, like, this is acting, obviously, but you can see the emotion that she is conveying, that Britt Lauer is conveying, is like, I know you from this thing we've done together. You don't know me. But it was almost like she wanted to get close to him again, to be in his presence again, but also to try and sort of weed out a little bit of information as well. And I wondered if that was her way of trying to get in under his skin. And obviously now he's seen that Helly and him had been together at the office very intimately. But it was almost Helena's way, maybe I'm wrong, But that whole banter between her saying, oh yeah, you can come home to my dad and blah, 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 or to my father. I felt like it was her way of getting in there a bit with him, being more friendly. And to me, it was just so strange. Like when I saw the episode where they were in the tent, it never occurred to me, because obviously at that point it hadn't been revealed. I knew about her being the outie, and I'd been saying that all along. I was like, I think she's the outie, I think she's the outie. Ever since episode 2, I think it was. It didn't occur to me that it was a weird thing for him to, obviously unknowingly, be sleeping with Helena. And that was Helena and not Helly, because I think at that time we weren't entirely sure. And if it was maybe just little things that had been said and done, because we weren't told that she was the outie by that point until the end of the episode. So it was just kind of up to us to realise it. And when that happened, I was thinking, oh, maybe there is something there between them. Maybe that is the innie, because she was sleeping with him. That she had been watching the tape of them kiss. And I'm wondering then, because she hadn't really felt that from someone. And I don't know if maybe that was her way of thinking, oh, maybe I can get under his skin and get in there. Not because it's Mark, but because it would go against Helly, basically. Because Helly had already tried doing, the rope thing in the lift. So it's almost her get back at her. I don't know, maybe it's not. But that's just my interpretation of it. And also then for more nefarious purposes, probably in the future. Also, they were saying that she was being kept there. They were keeping her there to help out or something, or for good reason or so. Do you remember that bit in the episode where the lady who's helping him to bring his brain back together, basically, was saying about it? I just love the way that the show is woven together and the editing. Oh yeah, he was in Irving's house looking up Bert's address to go specifically into a locked box to find paperwork. It feels like they almost knew that stuff was going to be there. And did he not, like, out of everything in the house, he didn't make mention of the paintings that were in there? He didn't look at the paintings that were in there? He just immediately went to the box. But all we saw was just the box, and that was it. I was going to say maybe Bert is in on it, and that guy chose that moment specifically to go there because Bert had asked him to dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like, he'd been staking him out, he'd been watching him, which doesn't work because of the name thing that he saw in the paperwork. But for a second, I was wondering, oh, maybe he asked him to dinner so that it gave the other guy good opportunity to know when he was out of the house so he could go and break in. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out in the next episode, but stay tuned because we're going to go and check out the podcast episode. And I'll play some clips from the podcast as well that sort of reference the points that I'm making. Hello guys, hope you're doing okay. Thought I'd give you a bit of a different look today, a bit of a different setup. And I'm sitting here in the fields, sort of. Yeah, it's been a very, very weird week. And obviously you guys, if you've not seen it by now, I've also put out the West Side Story video. Typically picking up wind. I have been sat here listening to this podcast episode, which by the way, has so much to it. There is so much. I've got dragonflies near me as well. You probably will be able to see some. This episode of the podcast, by the way, is so huge. It's got so many people in it. It's not just Adam and Ben, okay? You've also got Christopher Walken and Sarah Bock. Now, I know that's, it's only one extra person to what is normally there, but it was a very weird one that they did because they decided to go to Christopher Walken's house for his section. It was only Ben Stiller that went. Maybe it was because Adam Scott, wasn't able to make it there, or maybe just wasn't invited in general. Maybe Ben Stiller was in the area, and that's the reason why he went.
It was great to just now talk to Chris Walken. I actually just came from Chris Walken's house.
I'm so jealous you got to actually go talk to him at his house and talk about this particular episode and his character and stuff.
Yeah, we got to talk a little bit about the episode and about, how he got involved with Severance, and also about acting. I got to really nerd out a little bit.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, you had Ben go to Christopher Walken's house, which was very insightful, actually. Not Christopher Walken's house itself, but the talk with him. But it was weirdly insightful about his life and acting career. But that was it. They must have spoken a few words about Severance, which I was very disappointed at. Bert has been a huge part of the show. He was a huge influence for Irving's character. He was a huge influence for, the paintings thing. And there was the whole bit where they're locked in the room together. Bert and Irving are locked in the room together and they have their whole thing. And I know that was in series 1, but I thought they were going to go back through that again and just explain it a little bit, because we never got, at least from memory, I don't think we ever got any kind of speaking with Christopher Walken in season 1. It was only in season 2, in this episode specifically. So yeah, that was interesting. I'll get into that in 2 seconds. But yeah, we got Sarah Bock a little later on, which she is just wonderful. Little insights into her own life, but she this is the weird thing. She spoke about the show more, I suppose, because she's a younger actor, so she's just so enthralled by the whole experience itself of acting. But yeah, she does a phenomenal job in the show, and her little qualms with Milchick are so funny. There's like an underlying tension, push and pull there from them both. Like a bit of a, like they say in the podcast episode, a bit of a power play between them both.
It feels like there is some sort of power struggle happening there.
Yeah, they definitely have a very interesting dynamic because like he's her boss, but also she kind of disagrees maybe with what he's doing a little bit, and she has her own opinions. So doing the scenes with Trammell was so much fun because, I mean, he's terrifying when he's Mr. Milchick.
Oh, totally.
So getting to just like stare at him and like challenge him a little bit, that was really fun.
Yeah, that's my experience working with him. Is he's the most incredibly warm, sweet, funny, laughing presence. But you guys are so good together. I love the scene in the supply closet in episode 5 when you're getting ready for the funeral for Irving, and that little power struggle that's happening there between the two of you is really fun to watch.
Yeah, I loved all my scenes with Trammell. Those were my favorites. He's so amazing.
Strong characters in their own, and Milchick thinks he needs to try a little bit more to get control over people, where she comes into it and she's sort of quite playful. She knows kind of what's going on in his head, almost. There's a bit of taunting there. She says a line near the end of being in his office, and it's about all the review that he's had done. The little thing there. And I have written notes, but I haven't been going by them. Christopher Walken says some stuff, by the way. He mentions about acting in his kitchen. And I was thinking, what does he mean at first? I thought he just meant, acting in his kitchen throughout COVID or something. He kind of does, but he means acting to himself so much so that it becomes believable and the act comes to life. That character comes to life, not just in your head, but you almost believe it yourself. It feels and sounds like the truth. And I like that way to look at acting.
What I do at work has mostly to do with what I do in my kitchen. I stand for as much time as I have in my kitchen at this counter with the script. And I go over it and over it and over it. And you see, one day you're reading it, sort of mumbling it to yourself, and something sounds right. It sounds like, if I was talking to somebody, I would believe them.
So you say it out loud and you hear it.
And then suddenly it sounds like you're telling the truth. And that's it. That's what I'm looking for. But I did that in my kitchen. And then I try to bring it, to the set.
How does it translate? Like, do you get there and you go, oh, I did this better in my kitchen? Or do you...
No, you found out what you're talking about. You've named it.
You found it in the kitchen, and so you can take it.
You know what it is.
Genuinely, this is a very good episode all around. It's just at the beginning I was kind of disappointed with the lack of talking about Severance itself. It just feels like a chat with their friends. Yeah, they mention about the characters being different in and out of the Lumon building, like the innie and outie. And he doesn't quite say this, but I feel like this is what he was trying to say, is that the innies and the outies are very much like actors when they act. They're the innie is the character, and the outie is the actor themselves, and how they are two completely different people, but the same person at the same time. And I really like that, the correlation between both.
Watching you work when we do scenes, every take is a little different.
Sure. And that's another thing to do with Severance. It's that thing with actors. I've been in the business for such a long time, and there are actors who I've seen in dozens of movies. And I think I know them a little bit. And then suddenly you've got a job and you're working with them, and you meet them, and you're on the set with them every day. And it's that same person that you know from all the movies that you saw. But there's a little difference. They're a little bit this or that, or they're a little funnier than you thought they were. They're a little more serious. They're a little more, and it's the same, except it's a little bit different. And I think of that with Severance, too.
Definitely.
The guy goes to work and then he goes home. He's the same guy, but he's a little bit,
Well, that's what's interesting, I think, about the show for actors is that Adam is playing Audi and Innie. John is playing his Audi and Innie. But they're the same person, but they're different aspects of themselves.
Yeah.
And the question of how much bleeds through, what are the commonalities between the Innie and the Audi, I think is really kind of fun for actors to explore.
Yeah.
What I will say is that this felt like a very relaxed and chilled episode of the podcast, which I am very grateful for. I always love to unwind with these. What I will say is that the episode of the show, this one is very intriguing. Dinner itself was so mesmerizing because there's so many moments that have had layers of subtext in them. The whole show in this episode specifically feels like it's a turning point. It's not just here are characters at work and here are characters in the outer world. It feels like they're them merging together now, especially with the later scene, which is one of my favorite scenes in this episode. The scene where you find out about the characters, almost the motives behind what Helena's doing. She's teasing and manipulating. She's trying to worm her way in. She does like little flirtatious laughs and stuff in there. She's manipulating the situation, and I feel in some ways like she's rebelling against the company this is what I was saying in the previous episode. I feel like she was almost rebelling for not being able to be so open and herself. But also the flirting does seem slightly sinister as well.
Mark Friedman, who is really digging into this scene, also one of our writers and executive producers, coined the heat scene.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it long before it happened. We always talked about it being the heat scene.
And the heat being the movie, the Michael Mann movie, the scene where Pacino and De Niro meet for the only time in that movie. And the audience has been waiting for that moment. And we thought, well, this is kind of this moment where, Helena and Audi Mark are meeting for the first time. Mm-hmm. And what is that going to be about? And I thought you guys did an amazing job with that scene. And the writing of the scene, I think, is really, really interesting. And there's so much under the surface and so many levels to what you're experiencing with her and what she wants from you. It's really interesting.
Let's talk about the Christopher Walken scene at the table, not the Christopher Walken scene at the end. That'll be on its way soon. But Ben Stiller does say something about Christopher Walken in this. You remember I said about the look he's giving Mark's character? I said that there was a look, and I wasn't entirely sure if something was going on. They bring it up in this. The dinner scene in this felt like it had so many layers of subtext. So many. Like, what was the thing with the dates? If you're not sure what I'm on about, the date when Lumen started compared to the date when Christopher Walken's character started, Bert started. And the years don't line up. Now, again, this might be something like, in Stranger Things where Will's birthday doesn't match up between seasons, but I feel like the writers of this show are competent enough to get that right. No slight towards Stranger Things writers there. There are plenty of things that you could have written correctly and not got it wrong, and not said to fans that things were one way. And that also reminds me a lot of Doctor Who, where things are one way, or are they another way? Oh, we'll change your ideas last minute just to fit our own storylines. Anyway, due to the relationship between Irving, Bert, and now Fields is there as well, it feels so awkward. Like this is what they mention it in the podcast, but I thought this same thing as well when I saw the scene where he's inviting him in the previous episode. He's inviting him to dinner. I was thinking, that's not just going to be a bit awkward. That is going to feel, I don't know. It just feels weird, because like they say in this episode, it's like taking your girlfriend to meet your wife.
But then you invite him to dinner at your house with your husband, and there's an energy that's there between you and him that is not Bert and Irving on the inside, but there's something there.
Yeah, well, there's also the element of you say to your wife, hello, I'd like you to meet my girlfriend.
Exactly.
Let's have dinner.
Right.
Maybe not a good idea.
What's so interesting to me in this scene is that the relationship between you and Fields is obviously complicated, and you can tell he's jealous that you guys have a thing on the inside.
Yeah. Well, I introduced my boyfriend to my husband.
Right.
This is dangerous.
Right. And it's interesting is like, what's the motivation there, right? Why are you doing that in your relationship with your husband? There's obviously some stuff going on. You don't want him to drink as much. We see that he hits the wine a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It was fascinating because what it shows me is that even, there's still a connection no matter what between these guys, even if you don't know what was happening on the inside between you and John. And that's, to me, kind of the core of the show is this exploration of the two sides of ourselves and integrating those. What do we need from each side of ourselves? Can you separate yourself from your emotions? Can you separate from your past experiences? I talked to a veteran who saw the show and really connected with the show because he had experienced PTSD. And he was really fascinated with the idea of severing from memories and how that could possibly help people who have PTSD.
Oh, sure. If we could just move past things sometimes. The stuff that we carry around and stuff that happens to us when we were kids that got in our way, the stuff that we carry. It would be nice to have that ability to just throw it out the window.
Yeah.
And move on.
Yeah. Do you need to face that stuff and process it, or can you just cut it off and not
Well,
deal
I
with
suppose that's what religions try to do. You go to confession, you get it off your chest, you start a new day.
The innies and the outies, being with people and going against someone else like Dylan and the outie's wife going together, it's cheating. It's it's a form of cheating, really. That being said, also, though, I do think that Dylan and his outie wife are very good together. I think, even though that is how Dylan is or was years back, I do feel like they work really well together. I think they're lovely. And he says something in this episode. My thoughts on this episode are all mangled up, sorry. So I'm going to be switching backwards and forwards in this. In the episode, they actually talk about, Dylan says the words, I wish we could really be together all the time. And in my head, I was thinking, are there people in such a relationship where they have switched to being a full innie or full outie for that other person? And I know what you're going to say. You're probably going to talk about the guy at the birthing retreat. That guy and his wife were having, their time was a bit strange. And she was definitely severed. But at that point, we had no idea about the severing process and the fact that could be affected at the birthing retreat, which also goes to say, maybe just me, how come Mark's character, if all the birthing retreats are the same, maybe they're not, but if all the birthing retreats are the same and they have this ability to switch you from innie to outie or outie to innie, why did Devon's birthing retreat not do that to Mark when he was there? I take it that was just a generic, normal cabin, not the severed ones. That just interested me. Until Sarah Box's character came into this podcast episode, I was going to say that the special guest elements of these shows, of the podcast episodes, almost feel they're getting shorter and shorter every single time we see an episode of the podcast. There's one curious thing. Now, this could have just meant in general, but there was one thing that Christopher Walken said right at the end of his podcast segment. And Ben had asked him, is there anything that you fear? Something along the lines of that. And he says, I think the one thing I fear is God. And I thought it was a very interesting thing to just suddenly bring up. And why? But then he does make a mention, which there is a very suspicious pause after. And I'm not sure if it meant anything. If it was like, we're leaving you a breadcrumb, let's see if you pick up on this information. But he says something about, he fears God, and then says, and I feel like Bert would too. As if it's that they're holding on to something silently. I mean, it could be nothing. It depends on if God was supposed to be a thing, what level do they mean? Do they mean just someone who is in charge? Do they just mean someone with a lot of power and influence? It probably means nothing in comparison to the story, but I thought I'd make note of it in case.
Yeah, when Fields brings up the religion in the dinner, and he says that basically you got severed so that they could have a chance at saving your soul, right?
Yeah.
You basically got severed because you went to hear the pastor speaking about severance. And what we get the idea is that Bert has done some things on the outside that perhaps were not on the up and up, the darker side of his personality, and that this severed side of Bert could possibly go to heaven.
Yeah. And to be able to start over again is marvelous.
Yeah.
And to forgive yourself.
Yeah. That's my dad always used to like Yom Kippur in the Jewish religion, because you go there and you atone for your sins and you start fresh.
You did things that didn't always work out, but then now it's a new day, you move on. And that would be terrific.
Yeah.
To be able, every day's another day.
Yeah, but the reality also for people with these traumatic memories or experiences. How can you?
Some people have stuff that they can't forget.
Yeah.
And that's torture.
Are you religious at all?
I'm not religious, but I am afraid of God. And maybe Bert is too.
Yeah, so going back to the whole thing with Lumen, and I wasn't sure if maybe it was just me, but I felt like there was a big thing around Lumen, specifically to do with Fields and Bert's character. Almost like they were holding something back, that they were part of this conspiracy about Lumen being evil. I don't know, or like they knew who had started Lumen. But I'm thinking to the end of the season and trying to think how that would pair up with what we then know without obviously telling you too much. And the only thing I can think of is that maybe they know a certain person more personally, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm very intrigued as to why the years mismatch with Lumen, like the creation of Lumen themselves. Oh, yeah, with Helly feeling violated, and that I felt so bad for her, because you can see her take in the info. You see her realize, oh wait, we slept together. I had no say over this. Wasn't consulted about this. I didn't give my permission. I've just been taken full advantage of by Helena. And it's very windy out here, so I don't think you can even hear me. Like, I know she doesn't think that Mark's done anything wrong. She is taken aback by the information at first, because it's not something that she would have expected. But I don't think she's blaming, no matter what she says or does in that moment. I think momentarily, she just wants to run away from the situation. Yeah, I think she understands that Mark doesn't know or didn't know about the whole situation, that she was Helena. So I don't think she's blaming him in any way.
I also like how Uda shot that scene in the stall, in the bathroom stall. There are so few spaces that we haven't shot in the MDR, because it's just basically that room, the kitchenette, and the bathroom. And we've explored a lot of different ways to shoot things, and even in the bathroom. But she figured out a blocking with you two and a way of shooting that in the stall that I thought was really elegant. And actually, it's one of my favorite looking scenes in the show.
I love it too, and I love how isolated Helly looks and feels.
Yeah.
And you can see physically Britt, once she actually gets that information, sort of backing up, even though there's nowhere to go. It's such a violation.
Yeah, and I think that was Uda as a director is really great with actors, and I think really looking at that scene from Helly's perspective, of how to process that, and the moments afterwards where she's kind of walking the halls and, thinking about it and churning it in her head, and comes to terms with what she feels. And I thought Britt did an amazing job with that too, in terms of just internally seeing that.
Adam and Britt's acting in this episode specifically with that scene is phenomenal. They must have put so much effort into the idea behind it. It's funny, actually. I had been thinking that also with the scene in the diner. Helena sees Mark, and that whole scene, and they mentioned this in the podcast, but this is what was going through my head as well. Mark doesn't know that they've slept together. Innie or Outie, Helena, has slept with him. She doesn't know that Mark has slept with her Innie. And it never occurred to me that he did not know, as an outie person, he did not know that they had slept together. And it's only his innie that has any clue of any of this happening. Which to Mark, if Mark knew, is such a violation as well. The ability to act two different things at the same time and be two different people is so mesmerizing.
Editorially, the way that we start to intercut Gretchen and Dylan coming together as, Dylan asks for a hug from her, and we start to feel that there's more between the two of them. And as they start to come in and really have physical contact, at the same time, Helly's there thinking about her first kiss with Mark in season 1. And as that's happening, and as they're finally getting to the point where they connect, something goes off for Helly in her head where she realizes, hey, you know what? Helena had this, but I want it because that's how I feel about you.
Yeah, they do mention in the podcast about whether they had kept thinking, or at least Ben had kept thinking. I wonder if, to the audience, if it would feel natural enough to have two sex scenes, to have one with the innie and then one with the outie, 2 episodes apart. Would it feel too forced? Would it feel natural enough? And I personally do think it does feel natural. It goes to prove how much Helly is in love, infatuated, it does want to proceed with some form of relationship with Mark because she takes it upon herself to push back against Helena, despite, Helena's always been so oppressive to Helly. Helly wants to have what she has with Mark without Helena getting in the way, basically.
And that was something we talked a lot about with Bo Williman when he came in and working on our season.
Yeah, Bo is one of our writers and executive producers for season 2.
Yeah, and I remember that was the thought that came from him that was really a logical thought and a very emotionally grounded idea for, when you're thinking about how do these characters react to one another. Besides the mystery element of the show or the weirdness element of the show or any of that stuff, at the core, it's about these characters who we're trying to be with and track and believe. Yeah. And it was his thought that, she would want to have that for herself that I think really makes that scene so special because it's surprising. And I think maybe as a viewer, I'm thinking, I thought about this when we were putting it together. It's like, wow, I hope this works for people because it seems unexpected to me that we would have had Mark and Helena sleep together in episode 4 and then Helly and Mark sleep together in episode 6.
Yeah.
And that might not be expected. And all of a sudden people are getting together a lot more. But for me, it felt very organic in that this would be what Helly would want. And these two people do have these feelings for each other. And the fact that she knows that she had that connection with him and she really wanted that was something that felt, okay, that's kind of unexpected to see, but yet totally believable to me.
Yeah, because she and Mark were falling in love with each other, and Helena decided to interrupt that and take it for her, steal it.
Yeah.
And yes, Bo really was instrumental and really great with Mark and Helly's stuff, and sort of from that clearing of the decks in episode 4, really terrific with figuring out a way to get this relationship back on track and the direction to push it in.
Yeah, and it's also something, you talk about season 2 and doing things we hadn't done before. It was ground that I was very trepidatious about stepping on in terms of we're going to a place we hadn't seen on the show before. Characters sleeping together and not wanting to do the cliche version of that or the, the bad version of it, but yet also not be afraid to follow that line because it's a natural progression, but it's also something we'd never really done before.
That's right. And it was really important to Britt and I, along with you and Uda and our NMC coordinator, to come up with these 2 different love scenes with the 2 of the same people and make them very different. And they are very different, but they're both really beautiful in their own way.
Yeah. We had shot episode 4 already. So when Uda approached the episode 6 love scene, she was able to look at what we had done And she came up with her own language for that, which is also, I think, one of the most elegant scenes in the show.
Yeah.
The way that she filmed that between the two of you, and the realness and the closeness and the beauty through the sort of the tent that you make for yourselves out of the plastic tarps that are over the unused carrels and desks in there. And it's really beautiful.
It's actually really nice doing this, though. I might have to do this more often. Just come and do little bits outside. By the way, they do a mention to an episode 4 hilarious blooper of when they are doing the sex scene. And Ben is asked by the cinematographer whether he would like to operate the camera, because there's usually far too many people around when they do those kinds of scenes anyway. And so because of that, they thought, okay, we'll get you to operate the camera. Now that's all well and good. They come to forget that they are filming on an air mattress, which isn't the best steadiness. Ideally, I think what they should have done is they should have put the air mattress on something else, like have a smaller air mattress for the shooting scene, or not even had them laying on the air mattress for that scene and just put a cover beneath them or something as if they were on the air mattress. And then, because they apparently took that air mattress and the inner part of the tent was set up on a soundstage or something, and then that's how they filmed it. But I think they should have probably done away with the air mattress, but maybe they needed movement from, Helly and Mark. I feel like I just need to play you them mentioning it. It is hilarious about what happens to Ben in that scene.
The love scene in episode 4, what happened. I think is it okay to talk about that?
Yeah, it's the floor is yours.
So I was directing, the love scene in the tent in episode 4, and Jessica, our cinematographer, said to me, I think maybe you should operate the camera for this scene, because it's going to be very intimate and close, and you're going to know what you want, and it's going to be handheld, so you should get in there and kind of do it that way for the actors. And what did you think?
I was really, when you kind of told us it's just going to be the 3 of us in there, it was a relief, because love scenes are always awkward, but that made it just easier and just less to worry about.
Right. At least that's what you thought. Because
yeah, that's what
I get in there with the camera, and so it's a tent, and the tent is, we had it on a stage, on the sound stage. We're in the tent, and the tent has an air mattress, right? The set has an air mattress that you guys are on.
That's right.
That's part of the set, is that the tents had lumen air mattresses. So I don't know if you've ever stepped on an air mattress, but they're hard to get your it's hard to get your balance on. So
are they?
Well, when you're holding a camera, a heavy camera, and you're not a professional camera operator, it is. So we, closed set, quiet, intimacy coordinator, everybody's doing everything right. And it's very, very, very intense and quiet. And it's okay, roll camera. And I go in there with the camera, and you guys are there on the mattress, and it's just the light from the heater, and it's really beautiful. The shot's beautiful. And I'm standing there, and I'm starting, you guys are starting to do it, and I'm starting to move around, trying to be motivated by what I'm, seeing in the scene. And then I want to go in closer, and I go in closer, and I'm stepping forward, and I step on the air mattress, and I literally fall on top of the 2 of you with my camera.
To paint the picture a little bit, I was laying down and Britt was on top of me at this point. And suddenly she just falls right on top of me, and Ben is on top of her, just oh, geez. And the 3 of us are in a pile suddenly.
It was so ridiculous. And here I am trying to be Mr. Cool director guy. Yeah. And I've just become klutzy Ben falling on top of 2 actors. It was so embarrassing.
Honestly, it felt like something from a Ben Stiller movie.
That's what I'm saying. I can't escape my Ben Stillerness, even when I try.
Your character is a cinematographer, and it's a romantic comedy. And
that's not Bendo. It's his.
Yeah, we have to come up with a new name for this guy.
Yeah, Klutzo, the cameraman.
Klutzo.
Oh, and there's also the bit, this is the thing I was saying about with Ben. Ben says about Bert. Ben says we don't quite know what Outie Bert is up to. That's what I'm saying. what is he talking about? What do you mean? You don't know what he's up to. It's that part of at the end of the episode. There's a certain look that Christopher Walken does. It makes you wonder, like, what's going on with him. And I do feel like something. I wonder if he has a bigger part to play, similar to Helena. I think Bert has more to do with it than he's saying. The same with, I don't think Fields necessarily, but I feel Fields knows what's kind of happening.
After the Bert and Irving dinner, where it kind of all comes out, it's just interesting thematically in this episode. I think it's all the relationships sort of, the relationship confrontation stuff is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Bert and Irving kind of realize that there's something going on there between them two.
Yep.
Same thing.
100%.
And we're left with that last moment of Bert at the door where we don't quite know what Audi Bert is up to. And it's great because Chris Walken can just give a look. And I think when Chris is looking out that door at him, I don't know what Chris is thinking.
Yeah, I just can't get over that scene in the diner, though. It's so weird and so revealing to almost her pushing back against Helly as well, as if to say, I'm not going to let you be happy because I can't be happy, so you can't be happy as well. So I'm going to take this little bit of innocence, this little nugget of something that I wouldn't have been able to have for the very first time because you're an innie. And so if you did anything, that would have been your first time. So she's trying to take control over Helly as well.
I love this scene. It was fun to do, and it was just fun to kind of get this new dynamic between Britt and I and kind of figure out what it would be. And it ended up being kind of having this charge to it. Like these two people, Audi Mark is scared shitless of this person and has no concept of who she is to him on the inside, but she does, obviously, and she knows they've actually slept together. So there's so much going on, but the fact that there ended up being this almost flirtatious charge to the scene was something that just really started happening while we were shooting it and felt really interesting.
You sort of dip into it and then you go away from it and then you give into it and then you're...
Well, she starts f***ing with me by getting Gemma's name wrong.
Right. What do you think that's about?
Oh, I think she's 100% f***ing with me. Just toying, seeing what reaction she can get.
That's so interesting.
And she gets one.
It's so interesting because it's almost like some sort of a manipulation that Milchick would do on the inside, but it's Helena
totally
doing it on the outside.
Yeah. But maybe she's not, Britt and I never talked about that or maybe it's sincere. I don't know, but that's how I took it then. And
I think it's, And when you think of all that's sort of the baggage in that scene, it's like earlier that same day, you both slept with each other.
Yeah, but neither of us are aware of that.
Neither of you are aware of that, but she's aware that she slept with you, and you're not aware that you slept with her.
With either of her.
And that to me, what's so interesting to me about that is again, it's the question of what permeates, what is, what pheromones are there? What sort of, what's the memory there? What is the connection? What's the love feeling? What's all those things? There's just so much going on I'm sure as actors, there's just so much there to have just sort of waiting to call up or, play with.
Yeah. That's part of what was interesting about it is that there was something there and it was entirely different from whatever connection or flirtation exists in either of the versions that we had done before. It was like this new, weirder, more lived in thing because both of these people have lived a lot longer than the innies and the grown-ups more. It was just weird.
And we shot that at a great restaurant called Eng's up in Kingston, New York. It's a beautiful restaurant and
great exterior too.
Yeah.
Sarah, by the way, Sarah Bock's character, we see her eventually at the end. It's like a surprise interview with her right at the very end because I thought it was only going to be Christopher Walken. I had only seen his name on the title of the podcast. And she's so good. And they talk about the one thing I had wanted to talk about, which was her playing the theremin, because it's such a difficult instrument to learn. I've never had to learn it, but I've seen tutorials on it and I've seen people playing it, and it's so out of this world. That's probably the reason why it gets used a lot in sci-fi, because it does feel like a piece of alien technology, because you use air, or I think she says in the podcast episodes, it's wavelengths or something. I would love to learn it one day, just to say, I've learned the theremin. She knows one tune, which is the one that she learned to play for, was it episode 4? Yeah? She knows that one tune, but then she also knows only one other tune, which is the Severance theme. She learned to play the other one for the show, but then she learned for herself, she learned the Severance theme, which I thought was really cool. But again, to be able to learn just one tune itself would have been hard enough.
You had to learn how to play the theremin for this episode.
Yeah, like for real.
Yeah, I remember having a bunch of theremin lessons. My theremin teacher, Jennifer, she was fantastic. She just really drilled me on like the technique, which hopefully I got right. Theremin players don't come at me, but but yeah, that's the only song I know how to play, the song that's in the show. I learned how to play like the Severance theme, but that's it. And we would just
That's
really
incredible.
drill
That's
that.
cool. You can play the Severance theme on the theremin.
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean, for people, we talked about it in episode 4, but the theremin is like an instrument where you don't touch it. It's just you're moving your hands through space.
Yeah, and you can't really use muscle memory because, like, depending on the environment, like the wavelengths change. I don't really know. It's weird instrument, but it's really fun.
But then you almost get to play at Irving's funeral, and he stops you. And I think we really see Miss Wong's cockles go up there a little bit. She gets pretty pissed off.
Yeah, she was told she was going to play, and he went back on that agreement. How dare he?
Bad move.
Such a nice day. Blue skies as well, which is very rare here in England. Anyway, Sarah Bock is so good at her role. She just feels natural in the role, and apparently she felt like things were very chaotic for her, as in she felt she was very chaotic on that very first day, and that she didn't feel like she was on it on the day.
Your first day, and just being so impressed with you right out of the gate. You were so on it. You were dialed in, so funny, relaxed.
Oh, wait, that's so sweet. I did not feel that way. I felt like I was chaotic that first day and stressed. But getting to see what you guys are doing, I was like, I need to try and be on their level and fake it till I make it.
Yeah, I think we're all faking it until we make it.
Pretty much.
But you were very, I would not say, the perception for me was you were not chaotic or frazzled. You kind of just were very comfortable in your skin. And there's a sort of a stillness to Miss Wong, and, you know, this sort of interesting sort of layers to you, because you can seem incredibly innocent, but then also there are moments where you seem like you're very knowing and, you know, sometimes authoritative too.
They mentioned, by the way, her staring at Mark in the ball scene, you know, when they're doing the ball game. It's funny that I noticed that when I was watching it, that she just does these little looks to him, like a parent telling off a child, but almost being a bit snarky. Apparently, I don't remember who she says it was, had said to her on the day, whatever you're doing, maybe it was Ben, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Yeah, I remember on my first day when you had me do that ball game scene, and you had me stare at Adam for a super long time. That was when I started to realize like how scary she could be.
Yeah.
Figure out more about the character.
You're intimidating. You really are and were.
By the way, that's not an easy thing to do, I think, as an actor, which is, you know, just ask somebody to really not do anything other than just be there in the moment and just look at someone, because it can be incredibly revealing in a way.
Yeah.
And both of you, that's one of my favorite moments in that first episode, is really that energy between the two of you, and you just did not flinch at all. What were you thinking when you were staring at Adam like that?
I was thinking, oh my God, this has been like, oh my gosh, I've been staring for a really long time. Should I stop staring? Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah.
And I remember you came up to me a lot and you would be like, I don't know what you're thinking right now, but keep thinking it.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing. Like, you don't want to mess with something that's going well, right? With an actor, you don't want to tell them something that they become self-conscious of.
They talk about the Milchick office scene where there's such a push and a pull between them. It's so good. Milchick's trying to look very stern. She's just there, almost cocky replies to him, very much undermining him in some way.
Hello guys, I wanted to do a very brief mention of something that occurred to me while I was in the editing stage, that there was in fact a tie-in to do with religion that I do not think I had even twigged when I was filming stuff. So I know when I was filming it, I kept mentioning about Severance, the whole process there's like a religious element there with what they were saying at the dinner table. And that dinner table scene, what they were saying kind of felt like it was tying back to something. And for the life of me, I could not think of what it was. And I said there was like a religious element in there because obviously, you know, they almost put people as godlike figures. And obviously we've got Kier is like a very godlike figure to them, I suppose. I made mention, and I don't remember if I keep it in the edit or not, but I made mention about episode 8, or I said a later episode, I think. But episode 8 is the one that I'm thinking of. Are you catching my drift? If you know of that episode, you know exactly what that episode is about. There is a huge religious element in that episode. I completely forgot. I did make mention and say, I wonder if he's maybe linked to this other person. Now, the other person is very prominent in that episode. I wasn't entirely sure, so I wasn't really thinking 100% about it, but I thought, well, maybe it could be tied back, you know, because of godlike figures. But what Bert was saying, or sorry, what Christopher Walken was saying, you know, about him fearing God. And he says, and I feel Bert would fear God too. And in my brain now, I'm thinking, that makes total sense. Like, the reason why the years don't match up is because he is deeper connected than what we know of now. And that we're potentially going to find out in season 3. Because by the end of season 2, his character isn't then tied back into anything else. So that isn't really a spoiler, but the spoiler part of this was me talking about the religious element and this other person, which I'm not going to say anything of. But yeah, check out episode 8 of season 2, and you should be able to see what I mean. And I believe, potentially, because of everything that Bert and Field say, I think they are linked in some way to that stuff that goes on. Anyway, that's all I wanted to add extra. I will say that despite what I thought originally, there is a lot going on in this episode, and I really enjoyed it. So I hope you really enjoyed this, my little, thoughts around this episode of the podcast. And hopefully you guys can join me on the next episode, which I'm hoping to be able to get done as soon as possible as well, because I am very conscious that it's taken me such a long time to do this show and get it up on the channel. Hopefully you'll see another episode of this very soon. Stay tuned. Very good timing. My battery is now about to die. So take care, guys, and I'll pass you back to Marty. Bye. Anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the entire video. I've really, really enjoyed putting this one together, watching the episode, and just finding out so much information about this. And I can't wait to see it being explored more in next episodes. So, thank you so much. Hope you have an incredible day. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. It's absolutely free. You haven't got to get severed for doing that. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Have an incredible day. And if you want to see the full uncut reaction to this or any of the other episodes, then you can do over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member as well. But that is it. Thank you so much. Take care, stay safe, and hope you have an incredible day. And hopefully I get to see you guys next time. Bye. If you're still here to the very end, then thank you so much, and also a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons: Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Miggy Love, Chris Holmes, Jojo, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Res, Patrick Durr, Andrew Blount, Carlos, Marla Mize, Rob, Chandra Blair, Scott, Paul Zawicki, Randy, Kirsten, Juan Pablo Camero, JL, Maggie, Freya Alexandra, Milo, Miranda, Edna, Gina Aman, Tess Avaland, Olivia, Maria Stoicheva, Neno, Megan Janoviak, Rainy Tomo, Strawberry Tree, Kirsten Bailey, Boobly Boo, Louise Vanderhoven, Aubrey Terry, Wraithist, Heidi Steele, City D, Bumblebee, Joshua, Jesse, Rena Burrow, Meet, Lolita Verbakovskia, Eli, Holly Jeffries, Alenka Hafner, HM Garth, Chloe Grover, Neb, Kyle Baker, Abby Barker, Tom Tattershall, Kristen Olds, Tilly Chum, Laura Hutchison, Tara M. Will Coxon, Sazzy Nation, Ferdinand Pitchard, Jim McKay, Sphere, Mel Days, Fran in the Pen, BG, Tara, Rags and Muffins, Nameless Human Being, Deb, Philippa Chapman, Emily, Panda, David Wayne Fox, Jessica Asakovich, Sue Pro, Naja in Workshop, Mike Tunnicliffe, Wolfgang Wolf, Lee, Harvey, Ankame, Aninya, Evan G, Violet Aurora, Pamela Chandler Rash, Scott Howard, Joshua, Robert Williams, Steve Webster, Amanda, Lipaz, Jamie Dodds, King, Happy Go Lucky, Caitlin, Analytical Guy, Maria Torres, Cliff Adams, Jonathan, Dirk, Annie Bonds, Crystal Appleby, Scorpius, Monica Murphy, Sebastian St-Ange, Varga, Leslie McKittrick, Nick Stark, Number 1 Carez, Jen, Biff McKeldin, Birgit, Stephanie Collins, Emily, Ken Duncan, Max, Helena Klitsch, Amy Quattlebaum, Ry Levi, Wayne DeFries, JJ, Mikhail Augustine Reed, Malcolm Hope, Lee Hallam, Bill Waite, Charlie Elkin, Mika Least, Jeffrey Welton, Aleidoscope, George, Ingrid, Stephanie Sexton, Jude, Bera, Rubinio GD, Catherine Ellis, Vincent Pare, Sammy Fan, Eric Jansen, David K, Stephen, Edcat, MB8, Border Collie Lover 223, Caitlin, Juiced, The Gallifreyan Rebel, James, Johnny115, Tim, Paul Hess, Frank Tex, Marie Clark, Robin, Matt Quinn, Offer Rock, Bruce Heckerman, Joe, Victoria Helm, James Melton, Beatrice Soiler, Siegfried, Clara Grow-Louis, Lana Gorgeous, David Stafford, Rebecca K. McDowell, Ashley Stanley, Sophia, Fabian, Paul Byrne, Bear, Nadia, Chris Thompson, Erin Milieu, Kate Wheeler, Janet Rose Ashley, Alex, Tyler, Just a Little Tired, Shud Bruxelles, David Holton, Lisa Lovett, Liviu Oana, Francesca Carey, Ket Ranner, Clara Collins, Christina, Baileys from Shoe, and Breno. If you'd like to see more videos, there's some more on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.